What makes an NBA superstar today? It seems like getting on Sportscenter with a thunderous dunk is more important than why we play the game. Today's stars may be able to run up impressive stat lines and highlight reel plays, but does that really mean today's players are more evolving into lab-created athletes than the world has ever seen before? Today, we're going to look at exposing some of the greatest fraud facts of the modern NBA. Longevity is impressive. While this one may be controversial, today's athletes have grown up in the perfect situation that have allowed their careers to extend far beyond their predecessors. Just look at some of the top stars in the league today. LeBron at 39, Curry at 36, and Durant at 35. They are still putting up numbers similar to their peaks, but their impact on winning games has long passed. Curry did not even make the playoffs this year, despite the NBA going to play in format for the playoffs, which has allowed even the 10th seed a shot at getting in. LeBron and Durant both got bounced out in the first round. All three of these are putting up numbers well above their predecessors at the same ages, but is this something unique to the modern NBA? Not at all. Tom Brady played until he was 45. And in soccer, Messi is 36, and Ronaldo is 39. Serena Williams played until she was 41. So why are these athletes able to continue playing at high level when previous generation stars were washed up by their mid-30s? To start, modern medicine, diet, training have progressed at an exponential rate, and today's athletes have access to things that previous generations did not. LeBron reportedly spends over $1.5 million a year just taking care of his body and even sleeps in a hyperbaric oxygen recovery chamber. Lifting weights and better diets didn't become mainstream until the NBA until 1980s. Despite advancement in recovery techniques, today's NBA players repeatedly sit out games under the load management excuse, therefore limiting their back-to-back game days. The game has also become increasingly soft, where there are few challenges at the rim anymore, and taking hard fouls is only a whisper from the past. In the 80s and 90s, it was common to get hammered while attacking the basket, and a lot of these brutal attacks were just common fouls that didn't lead to any ejections. And lastly, probably the most overlooked reason why players are playing longer is the teams travel way different. It wasn't until the 1988 season that the Detroit Pistons opened up the idea of private plane travel, and the subsequent years other teams followed. Before that, you could get on a 6 a.m. commercial flight and be sitting next to your favorite NBA star in the cramped coach section of the plane. Imagine playing a late game and after an exhausting 48-minute battle having to shower, talk with the media, go through ice bath or massage therapy well past midnight, and then heading to your hotel only to get a 4 a.m. wake-up call to catch the 6 a.m. flight to the next city. Then you head to the airport, half asleep, and spend the morning sleeping on the hard concrete floor waiting for the delayed plane, and then having to play later that day. And now, do this night and day out over an 82-game season. No wonder players' bodies wore out faster in previous decades. They were going through more intensive playing careers. Scoring points equals success. Scoring has never been easier than the past few seasons. Players are no longer taking any pride in defense and are resting so much that uncontested layups and dunks have become the norm. In the past, being a top scorer in the league typically meant you were on some of the best teams in the league. The highest scoring players also had team success and were constantly battling for the NBA title. This is no longer the case, as in today's NBA, you can be a star by scoring lots of points, even if your team is towards the bottom of the league. If Luka and the Mavs didn't make it to the finals this year, then in the past 5 years, only one top 5 league scorer has even made it to the NBA finals. For those of you bad at math, that means that 4 out of the last 5 seasons, the top 5 scorers in the league weren't even playing in June. Prior to that, how many years did it take to exceed 4 seasons where the top 5 scorers were not playing in June? 29 years. That's right. What happened the past 5 seasons previously took almost 3 decades to occur. Points, rebounds, and assists are the best stat line. We already discussed why scoring isn't as important anymore, but I also think that assists and rebounds get way too much attention compared to other stats. Getting an assist in today's NBA may be as simple as passing the ball to a player coming off a screen for an open three, or even just passing the ball to a teammate who eventually scores. The awarding of an assistant is subjected to the stat keeper, and there are plenty of examples of players getting awards with an assist for not doing anything to improve their teammates' chance at scoring, but merely just passing the ball. Assists are being inflated and glorified in the media when the act of actually creating an assist has little to do with the player award, the assist, and more to do with the player who actually scores the bucket. Rebounds also are not as difficult to get in today's game since the 3-ball results in a lot of missed long rebounds that just bounce into a player's area with no one else around. In the past, it was a battleground in the paint stuffed with multiple 7-footers where grown men grappled for an opening to snatch a stray ball from the missed shot. There are fewer big men in the league and almost no one plays under the rim anymore, so shorter players now have an easier time at getting rebounds. LeBron is a classic example of benefiting from the absence of big men in the league. You would think that his position is a point guard or small forward, but he actually is the second tallest player on the court for the Lakers most of the time, resulting in him being more like a power forward from years ago. If you compared his stat line for rebounds to the other power forwards from the past, it doesn't look so impressive anymore. Great players do not need to play defense. A lot of the top players today not only rest on defense to preserve energy, but for offensive spurts, but also are nowhere close to being one of the league's elite defenders. Just look at the list of all NBA players compared to the all defensive players in the same year. The 2020s are on pace to be the lowest decade in 30 years, where in today's game, the all NBA players rarely made the all team defensive. In contrast, the 1990s had 17 times a player made both lists, and the 2000s had this happen 15 times, proving that the players in this era were more completed players by playing hard on both offense and defensive ends on the court. Compared LeBron's career, where defense was only important for a 6-year stretch in his 21 career, compared to Jordan, where defense intensity was a staple of almost his entire career. Jordan made first team all defense for 9 straight seasons while also being first team NBA in the same year. I guess defense does really win championships, and that is why the 80s and 90s are considered the golden age of basketball, when players played hard on both ends of the court and rewarding and winning titles, lots of titles actually. As always, thank you for watching, and if you could hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it a lot.